Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I am filming my, Darcie's 1 month update. At the moment she is trying her best to look around the room. She is mesmerized by anything shiny and is it cool? Oh, pardon you had some windy pops. She wanted to share that moment with you. She is pushing her head back right now, trying to look at everything. You're just, oh, a little bit spit up. Of course you would do that now. She is so mesmerized by everything, aren't you? Yes. Okay, so apparently she wanted to share that moment with you too. She is straining right now to do poo. Anyway. Is that light? What do you see? You see bright lights. You see bright lights. Okay, so it is her 1 month update. She is indeed getting big. Look at her and how alert she is. I know she we didn't do a, what do you call it? See, I've got completely sidetracked with baby. I know we didn't do a Meet Darcie video. I've explained all of that in my postpartum video, which will be going up after this one. I have kind of done a cluster of videos all in one day, so you will notice that I am literally wearing the same thing in every video. So, Darcie. Darcie was born at 6 pounds and 9 ounces, and she is now, wait for it, oh well, she was actually, it was about a week ago that she was weighed, so she could possibly be more now. She was 8 pounds and 9 ounces. She had gained such a healthy amount of weight, but she does feel a little bit heavier, so I'm assuming she might even be over 9 pounds now. So she's getting a big girl. She's doing so well. I just love her face off, honestly. I love her so much that I just want to kiss her all over the face all the time. As you can tell, she is turning into a redhead, just like her mummy. And I love that. I absolutely love that. We have more redheads in this house than anything else, and my husband, bless him, he's very much outnumbered. You got the hiccups. You have the hiccups. Oh no. She gets so frustrated and angry with the hiccups. You will probably hear her shouting. Do you want your pacifier? Do you want this? There we go. We do use a pacifier. It's something I kind of debated on. We didn't use one with Lily, we used one with Chloe, and now we're using one with Darcie. So it's kind of a we did, we didn't. I think it was just more because she was very unsettled and she was constantly sucking on her bottles really, really hard, and we wanted to tire her out during burping times, which was advised by our midwife. You are so unsettled. She's got the hiccups. Oh, poor baby. Okay, we are rid of the hiccups almost, and she's gone to sleep, look. Oh. Anyway, so yes, we are using a pacifier. I think that's where we left off. I think it was. But yeah, she's getting big really quickly, and I'm kind of trying to grab on to every moment that she has because she is our last baby, and I just don't want her to grow up so quickly. It kind of breaks my heart that she's already a month old. So I'm trying to grab onto everything. She is feeding very, very well. She does have a little bit of acid reflux. She has a little bit of colic as well, so we are trying to deal with that at the moment. We're using Aptamil baby formula to feed her, and there is a version of Aptamil formula that is for colic and constipation is something that she's really going through at the moment, and I really do feel for her. She's in so much pain because she's trying her best to have a bowel movement, but it's just not working. So we're going to give that milk a go. We were breastfeeding. We did start off breastfeeding. I feel so out of breath at the moment. I keep jumping up and down to get things for her. So apologies for that. No, we started off breastfeeding, and unfortunately it just didn't work. She wouldn't latch on. We tried our hardest to get her to latch on, but she was just so excited and quick and screaming. We just couldn't get her to latch on. The midwives tried, we tried, even our health visitor tried to help us, and it just would not work. She kept shaking her head and screaming and throwing herself around, and it was heartbreaking, and I was absolutely gutted that I couldn't get her to latch on. I did try expressing with an electrical breast pump, but unfortunately I ended up with mastitis in both breasts, and it was the most uncomfortable, painful, awful thing ever in the world. It made me cry. I couldn't move. It was just horrible. And you will see in my postpartum video that I had a lot of medical things going on with myself. One of those medical things was I had sepsis and I was just very poorly. So I kind of had to think of myself in that moment, and I stopped expressing. I have since thought about trying again with the breast milk, because I feel like she needs that. There's something in me that just makes me want to say that she needs that breast milk. I haven't breastfed with any of my other children because I was unable to due to medication and complications with them. So I really wanted to with her, but now things have settled down. I'd really like to try and express my milk. It hasn't dried up completely, so I'm kind of in two minds. Should I start pumping again and try and get her on that? Because I'd really like her to have that. I feel like you can't see her. There we go. Yeah, so she is on Aftermil formula, and we're going to try out the anti-colic and anti-constipation one and see if that helps her. She has been constipated now for about 72 hours. She has had bowel movements in that time, and they're kind of explosive ones, but before she has them and on the in-between, she is just in so much pain, and she will scream and scream and scream. And again, alongside with the acid reflux, she will scream to a point where you can hear the acid in her throat, and it's just a really horrible combination. And I try everything to soothe her, and it's horrible because she won't calm for anything, and I can't take it away. And I think it's the worst feeling in the world when you cannot take a pain away from your child. When she was born with a labour rash, or I think it's birthing rash, I think it's called. It looks a little bit like chicken pox. She had it all over her face, all over her body, and when we first saw it, we actually did think that she had chicken pox. Apologies if you can hear my daughter in the background. She really wants to get into this room, and she can't because the door's locked and she's not happy about it. But yeah, no, we thought she had the chicken pox because I'd had the chicken pox whilst I was pregnant, and we were just devastated when we saw it. But rest assured, the midwife did tell us that it was a birthing rash and it would just disappear on its own. It might go away and flare back up again, which it did. It disappeared completely, and then all of a sudden it flared up and she had it all over again. But it did go away eventually. Now, her cord fell off, I think it was about 2 or 3 days in. We actually had a nurse come to the house, and she was just doing a general check, and as she opened up her nappy, it just fell off. And it was so clean, and there was no tender area, there was no sign of infection. It was just perfect. And within 24 hours, she was allowed to have her first bath. And I will tell you, she is definitely a water baby. She absolutely loved her bath, and she still does. Every time she goes in the bath, she just lies there and kind of takes it at her leisure. She absolutely adores it. It soothes her so, so much. She loves it. And it's definitely kind of an ease to us, because the last thing you want is a screaming baby when you're trying to bathe them. It is just horrendous. We had others that were like that, and it was just heartbreaking to watch and so difficult to hold them still and not, they don't slip into the water. Oh, that scares me. But yeah, she's definitely a water baby. She did have some blocked tear ducts going on at some point. When was that? It was about 2 days after she was born, she started to form a green gloop in her eyes. It was actually, no, it was later than that. It was later than that because I was taken into hospital and we had to take her with me because at that point we were still trying to breastfeed. And whilst we were in the hospital, that's when we actually started to notice the gunk in her eyes. And it just so had it that in the accident emergency, there was a paediatric nurse there, and he came and had a look at her straight away and assessed what was going on. And they didn't want to treat it. They didn't want to do anything because she was so very, very young. So they just advised us to clean it with warm water and cotton wool, which we did, and we were doing anyway. No, that's a lie. We weren't doing anyway because that was the first time she had it. I tell you what, baby brain just doesn't go away. Yeah, no, we would have done that anyway because obviously we've had a lot of children. We know what to do with it. So we continued that at home. It did get a little bit worse for a little while, but then it just kind of disappeared on its own. Just as we were about to book an appointment with a doctor, it just kind of vanished. So yeah, she did have watery eyes after that because obviously her tear ducts weren't formed properly at that point, so they were very watery, and that's how she formed the gunk as well, because they weren't formed very well. But now they are perfect and there is no more teary eyes and there is no more gunk going on. She did catch a cold as well around the same time, so she had it all going on all at once. Unfortunately, it was flu season when she was born and everybody had some kind of germ going on, and I tried my best to keep her away from it, but it got to her anyway. And we were using a nasal aspirator to clear her nasal passage and saline spray, or saline spray, whichever you choose to pronounce it, just to put up her nose and loosen the mucus off, and then we could suck it out. And she didn't like that very much, but it had to be done, and the midwife obviously confirmed that we were doing the right thing and it was helping her. So now she is all cold and germ free, which is lovely. And she's so cute. Honestly, her little face, I just cannot get enough of her. She's just so perfect in every way. She sleeps well. She does sleep really well. Only she sleeps at all the wrong times. She is very much nocturnal, or was very much nocturnal. Over the last couple of days, she's actually slept through the night. We have been trying to put her into a routine. I know a lot of people don't agree with the routines, but for us, it definitely works with how our family works, because obviously we do have a lot of children and we just kind of need some kind of structure. And it's starting to work for her as well. She knows when her feeds are, she knows when what's what. So yeah, at the beginning, she just was not sleeping through the night at all, but she would sleep through the day. And obviously, when you've got other children, you can't sleep through the day, so you're up all night and you're up all day as well. Oh dear, tantrums are going off in the other room. So yeah, I mean, she's doing really well with her sleeping now. She has her first feed at about 4:30 in the morning, and she has her last one around about midnight time, I think it is. She feeds every 4 hours and she has about 5 ounces every 4 hours, but she does lose a lot. She kind of dribbles it all outside of her mouth, which made us think that maybe she had a tongue tie, which is very common. We did have a check in her mouth, but we can't see any sign of a tongue tie. So I think it's just a case of she is so eager to drink that milk that she is sucking so hard on the bottle that it's just kind of splurting out the side. So she does lose about half an ounce when she's feeding. But she's thriving anyway. She's getting heavier and heavier. I feel like my arm's about to drop off. She's just so perfect. So perfect. There's so many things that I want to tell you guys that she's been doing, that's been going on, and that my mind's just kind of going blank, and I feel like maybe I should have wrote notes and kept them beside me so I didn't forget. Oh, she started smiling. She kind of looks at me and well, who wouldn't smile because I keep pulling all these really weird faces and making all these weird noises. And she probably thinks I'm a little bit daft and a little bit silly, but I do kind of get the little, it's not a full-on giggle or smile or anything like that. It's just like a, that's my mummy kind of smile. And she looks at me and she glares at me. And she does know my voice, because when my husband is holding her and I'll come into the room and I'll start talking, she's kind of looking at the corner of her eye to where I am. And she stops what she's doing. She's drinking her bottle. She stops sucking on the bottle and she responds straight away to my voice, which I think is amazing because she's just advancing so well. And I don't, she's advancing so well, but I don't want her to grow up that quickly. It just seems to have zoomed by already. She does spend most of her time in sleep suits at the moment, which you can see she's got a little butterfly one on at the moment. She spends most of her time in those because she does a lot of spitting up. So when we are in the house, she just wears these all the time. They are comfy for her, they're warm, and they're practical. I always find that when I had a baby and I got loads of lovely outfits, they just ended up not getting worn because all of them were so sick, and she's just the same. We have, obviously, because of the acid reflux, we have had a couple of times where she has projectile vomited, and it is quite impressive how far she can get it across the room. But again, in the same respect, it is very scary because it comes out of her nose, it comes out of her mouth, and she chokes on it. And these are kind of the realities of parenthood. You've got to be prepared for that, because if you panic, it's going to make her panic more. And so you just got to stay calm. And I find that if I'm calm, she's calm, and we kind of hold an eye contact, and she knows I'm there, and I will talk to her and I will stroke her head and I will soothe her and make sure that she knows that she is safe. And it's just, you know, people say that babies don't know what's going on, but I fully believe that they do know what's going on. Their brains are like sponges. They collect absolutely every teeny tiny little bit of knowledge that they can, every light, every sound, every thing that they can look at. They absorb it all, and it all stays in there. And I think any influence that anybody has on a baby at this age will stay with them for the rest of their life. So we kind of make sure she knows that she is safe, and we are here, and we are always going to be here to protect her. So yeah, there's that. My mind's gone completely blank on all the things that I want to say. I did buy some flashcards, some first word flashcards. I know it's so early that she is not going to be even making noises, let alone talking. She hasn't found her voice yet. She's done a couple of little squawks, but no voice being found yet. But that will be coming soon, I'm sure. But I did find these flashcards, and it just a little bit of stimulation so she can see the cards, the colours. I'm not sure. It's amazing how quickly you forget all the little bits and pieces that go with a newborn baby. It doesn't matter how many children you have, you will forget at the drop of a hat what it is like, and then you've got to remind yourself over again when you have another one. So I'm not too sure when they start to see colour. I know they see black and white for quite a while, and it takes a while before they can focus onto the mother's face, and they can only see 14 inches from mummy to baby where they can start to focus and see faces. But I'm not sure how long that goes on for. So I try and get a little bit of stimulation in wherever I can. And she does have a lot of stimulation off of her brothers and sisters anyway, because they are always with her. And touch wood, thankfully, there has not been any kind of jealousy in the house. All of the other brothers and sisters in here have taken to her so well. The only thing is Lily, our 3-year-old, and Chloe, our 1-year-old, seem to think that she is a little bit of a dolly. And they want to feed her, clothe her, cuddle her. They want to do a bit of everything, which is absolutely amazing because they have picked up that mothering instinct from me. But it kind of makes me nervous a little bit that they're just going to go in and pick her up out of the crib and try and get her dressed or try and change her nappy or something like that. So I've got to have eyes in the back of my head constantly. But they are so good with her. And if I was to say that she needed a bum change, because, well, babies need lots of bum changes. If I was to say that I needed a nappy or I needed a nappy rash cream or anything like that, Lily and Chloe will run around until they can find it, and they will bring me everything that I need, and they are so pleased with themselves. And then they like to help. They like to help me change the nappy and get her dressed. And it just amazes me the amount of bond that they have. It's just incredible, and I love every minute of it. I really do. You couldn't ask for more than that. The boys are I think they're going to make amazing fathers when they're older. They don't mind the dirty nappies. They don't mind the screaming. They don't mind the fact that I have to give my time to her, and they understand it fully. They are just absolutely amazing and so caring. It just warms my heart. It really does. They will come flying into a room and say, "Mum, she's crying. You need to go and see her now." And I have tried to explain to them that sometimes babies do cry, and it is good for them. It helps, you know, their lungs kind of get stronger. It is good for them to cry sometimes, not all the time. I wouldn't leave them. I don't use any cry out methods. We don't do any of that. But if she's screaming for a bottle and I have to make one, then I kind of have to make a bottle whilst she's screaming. I don't have much of a choice. But they will get a little bit frantic and worried, and they will sit by her. They will give her her pacifier, and they will stroke her head, and they'll talk to her just to soothe her, just as much as I would do when she needs me. So they do it as well, and I love that they do that. So they're all so caring and so loving towards her. They have a bond already, and it's just amazing. She has an amazing bond with her daddy. She knows her daddy's voice. She knows when he walks into a room just as much as she knows when I walk into a room. It is just amazing. She has fitted into our family so perfectly. There's nothing that I would change at all. She has completed our family. There's nothing more to say than that. She's completed our family and made it whole, and we absolutely adore her. She is just absolutely perfect. She is our perfect little Darcy Marie, and I just want to kiss her all the time. So anyway, I don't think there's anything else that I can say. There's probably loads that I can say actually, and I will probably end this video and then remember everything that I wanted to say, and yeah, I'll tell you in the next video. So if you like this video, then give it a thumbs up. I apologise, we have come out of focus. I apologise if it seemed quite gobbledygook and a little bit of babbling, but I still have baby brain. It's kind of, you know, lack of sleep in there. But yeah, so if you did like it, then please give it a thumbs up. And if you have anything to ask or any videos that you would like to suggest, then please drop it in the comment box below, and I will get back to you as soon as I see it. And if you have any questions to ask, then if I do get enough questions, then maybe I will do a Q&A. If not, then I probably will just do a Q&A of questions that I make up myself, possibly. Who knows? Anyway, I love you guys. Thank you for watching, and I will speak to you all soon. Bye for now.